Hello guys, and welcome to this month's r/Nosleep. If you notice I'm a little off schedule, I uploaded a different story last week that actually has just a tiny bit of a continuation, and if you would like to hear about that, then I would suggest that you stick around to the end of the video. But other than that, I do have one other announcement. It turns out that one of the stories that I had planned for this month has been removed from all of Reddit. If anyone knows how to get to that story, let me flip in my book here. It was called I've Seen the Love of My Life, But She Doesn't Exist by Krampus is Full on Reddit. It's another r/Nosleep story. You know, we're here for our Nosleep Radio. Why wouldn't they come from r/Nosleep? So instead of reading that story, we're reading the other story that we had today, and that one only. So, whatever. Today's story is My Brother Released Something on the Internet by Computer Phobe. I do hope you all enjoy, but without further ado, other than my coughing, my brother released something on the Internet. My brother wanted me to write this down. I don't know where to post this, but hopefully you'll believe me. It all started last October. Actually, it all started in June. My brother had a girlfriend, but she killed herself right at the start of her summer school break. Obviously, this was hard on my brother, and he went through several stages of grief. Eventually, he started getting better, but before he came back to school, he wanted to go to our summer house in northern Sweden, since he had been in the city for months at this point. My parents, of course, agreed and was ready to take time off work. But he told them he wanted to go by himself. He needed some time alone. I instantly told him I'd drive him to the house since he didn't have a driver's license, wanting to do anything to make him happier again. I took a day off work and drove him to the cottage the very next day and walked through the woods with him as we carried food for the week. He seemed calm and happy as I hugged him and told him I'd be back in a week to pick him up. That was the last time I'd see him calm or happy. Now, obviously, the next part of the story is a retelling from my brother. A story he told multiple times to me, my parents, doctors, and other professionals. He was far up north in the Swedish woods, so he didn't have any internet nor phone connection, but since he had downloaded several series the day before, he brought his computer with him. My parents probably thought he would enjoy the Swedish nature, but the second he got inside, he turned on his computer. Without thinking, he opened Google Chrome as he usually did when he was at home, and to his surprise, he was connected. He first assumed his computer was in sleep mode and just had the websites in the cache or something, but he clicked a YouTube video and it played instantly. He was confused, but spent the night on his computer, talking with friends and playing games like he usually did. It was already dark outside when he woke up and his computer was on from the night before. As he walked up to it, the bright screen made him freeze in place. According to Facebook, his dead girlfriend was online. He closed it down, assuming a relative or someone logged into her computer or something, and opened YouTube to his next shock. All the recommended videos were horrible videos like ISIS killings, torture, and other unspeakable things. He opened Reddit instead, and the front page was the same, full of gore and things that made him want to puke. As he scrolled through, he realized this wasn't gore subreddits that for some reason got to r/all. It was subreddits like r/aw, posting pictures of mutilated animals with thousands of comments saying how cute it was. He closed down the page, assuming some sick haters had decided to take control of Reddit with bots, and decided he had enough of the internet for today. He opened up his files instead, ready to catch up to Game of Thrones. He started screaming when the file was a 15-second loop of his girlfriend slicing her throat. The computer lagged when he tried to close the file down, and he threw the laptop out of the window in a panic as he wanted the crazy to stop. The next part was blurry for him. He regained consciousness in front of his computer again. It was first when he noticed the contour of something in the screen that reality came back up to him. Paralyzed by fear, he stared while his eyes adjusted to the darkness, revealing a woman-like creature looking at him with a smile. She had red cat-like eyes and brown hair spiky like a broom. Her mouth was wider than any human mouth, and her smile uncovered black teeth. The last thing he remembers was that he started running. He was found by a trucker, unconscious and naked on a road hours away from the cottage. It took months of intense therapy for him to get convinced that he had a mental breakdown and had dreamed of everything that had happened. We talked a lot during the time. He told me he wasn't insane and that the creature that haunted him was Marin, or the mare, as it would translate to English. He didn't know how he knew it. At last, they convinced him to use a computer again, to get rid of his fear, and being pushed to be normal by our parents, he did as they said. Nobody knows what happened, but the whole city went dark as power and the internet went down. During that time, he had somehow slit the throats of the doctors with him and himself. I know you're going to assume my brother went insane, and maybe he did, but in that case, I'm insane too, because as I'm writing this, I can see her on my screen. I think my brother unleashed the mare on the internet. So that was our very short episode for today. By computer phone, my brother released something on the internet. I do hope you enjoyed, but to take up a little bit more time and to update you all, like I said I would, I do have to explain the new things that have come up with our whole cloak story. For those of you who don't know, I wear cloaks. There's a teacher who doesn't like my cloaks. I've gotten into fights about it, and it's a good day. If you remember from last week's video, pardon my sniffles. This is the non-scripted part. If you remember from last week's video, I got into a fight and won. The teacher dad was going to go talk to the teacher. The principal and one of the counselors agreed with me that my white cloak was fine. Well, Monday happened after I uploaded the video. Obviously, I recorded this previously. I think I recorded that video Friday evening, actually. So, all the things had taken place by the time I recorded it, and I figured something else would happen. That Monday, she didn't come into school. There was a substitute there. He's a really sweet dude. I like him. And one of the teachers, I'm not going to tell you which one, we'll call her, I don't know, she's a teacher. One of the teachers caught me in the hallway and informed me that apparently I had literally run the art teacher, who last video we called Miss Vern, off campus. She walked off campus after after yelling at me that second block. Last video I explained that I was walking to chemistry when she caught me in the hallway and yelled at me to take my sheet off, whatever. And apparently she walked off campus after I wouldn't, and she talked to a principal and walked, into story, she walked off the campus. Right? She wasn't back that Tuesday either. Well, on that day, the same teacher told me that apparently Miss Vern had been fired, and I was like, what? Okay, wonderful. I have gotten a teacher fired, and it's only the 5th day of school at that point, but you get what I mean. It was the 3rd day of school when all this supposedly happened. So I was like, great, that's wonderful. And I told my best friend, and he was like, Carolyn, what? And I was like, I don't know, what? I'm so confused, but whatever. So the next day comes, and she ended up back. I didn't know it at the time, but early in the morning she wasn't there, but by about 3rd block, which is our lunch block, remember there are 4 classes every day, she was back. She was at the lunch table, and it was wonderful. So it turns out that apparently literally the entire staff thought that she had been fired because that's what they had been told, and then she came back, and she doesn't want to tell them what was going on, and I'm like, well, that's reasonable. I don't think I would want to tell them what was going on if that happened to me, but like, what? This is a very confusing situation. But yeah, so I thought that she got fired, but she's not fired. She hasn't said a thing to me about my cloak. She's actively spoken. I try to avoid this woman, and she has actively spoken to me at least once so far. She said hello. I was like, hi, and I had a panic in my brain, and I was like, I'm gonna go now, and I went to class. And that was the end of that. So, I don't know what's going on anymore, guys. If new things happen, well, then new things happen. So, thank you all for listening to my rambles. We're officially over 10 minutes, so, magic. I hope you enjoy this mess. And I'll see you all next month. Stay creepy, my dudes.